Damian Lillard waived by the Bucks today. Former Blazer Damian Lillard, but you already knew that. What are you laughing at?
Former Blazer.
Well, he is.
Yeah, that is true.
Is
Just sounds weird.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
He was here.
We've
now...
moved on. It's been 2 hard years.
Well, it's true. We've moved on, and now it's like, well, wait a minute.
Yeah.
He lives here.
Mm.
He's going to be rehabbing his feet here.
His feet.
Or, his muscles and stuff.
His muscles and stuff.
His foot muscles or his leg muscle. His Achilles. That's what it is.
There you go. His tendon.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
And now everybody's like, well, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Why not just here? Like, for example, the very last text, fan text line. How about we flip Drew back to the Bucks? We get our true mentor point guard for a fraction of the price, and it would ensure Scoot is the starting point guard because Lillard isn't stepping on the floor anytime soon.
I see no issues.
It is one of those things that when Dame left, there was, and he talked about it too, that there was, that it wasn't a goodbye. It was kind of a see you later thing. And, my only question, and this goes to the Drew Holiday thing too. So Lillard's turning 35 in like 2 weeks. By the way, apparently, sources close to me, a.k.a. Internet, I guess he's having his birthday party at the Portland Art Museum. Did you get your invite?
I didn't.
Oh.
Not yet.
Dame, call us.
Check my mail
You think you could pay to get in? $50.
Portland Art Museum.
Yeah. Well, that's when you're a big celebrity, you got to have public birthday parties, even though that you'll just be in a VIP area where people can stare at you. The idea of paying to go to a celebrity's birthday party where, again, you just stand in a mass of people and stare at the person from a distance.
Can I just say that's a little stuffy?
What, the Portland Art Museum?
Well, just having your birthday party there.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
really.
Look,
is he into art?
It's going to be a party. It's not going.
Then why do you have to go to the Portland Art Museum?
Same reason that somebody would rent out a place like this for a wedding reception. Yeah. It's just
it's kind of
a
baller
big,
move.
famous place.
Oh, I got a couple $100 million. I'm renting out the art museum. Now we're gonna, and I promise you,
I'm boycotting.
It is going to be dimly lit. There'll be strobe lights and loud music, and there'll be a VIP area. And my guess is he will either rap and or DJ.
And Rob won't be missed.
Hey, I won't be there. Somebody may miss me there. Can I ask a dumb question about parties at the Portland Art Museum?
Yeah.
What do they do with the art?
Oh, I'm sure it's there. I mean, there's probably a guard. I'm sure there's those velvet ropes.
Well, people don't like, I mean, parties are wild.
I'm guessing they take steps to ensure.
Well, what? That's what I'm asking.
It's not a Batman.
You don't know anything about this.
Batman situation where they're going through and spray painting all the works of art.
Renting out the Portland Art Museum can cost between $4,000 and $10,000.
So can we say that's not that much of a baller move?
That's not bad. Yeah.
Huh.
Maybe they put you in another part where there's no art.
I could see that. Or again,
and if you want to see the art, you can go in there, but then you can't puke.
Or they're like, hey, be adults. Don't spill your drinks on the art.
Is that the cool? But where else in Portland, if you're a baller and you wanted to rent something out.
Can you rent out Pittick Mansion? I don't think you can.
But if you could, that's not really a baller move because there's not really room in there to throw a big rager.
There isn't?
No.
Yeah, that'd have to be a really stuffy party. You'd have to. There's too much.
No, you need a big.
Could I rent out Damian Lillard's mansion? Oh wait.
Then you'd have to people at your house. You don't want to do that.
Could you rent out the Moda Center?
Well, he wouldn't want to do that, would he?
Oh,
Mississippi Studio?
Yeah, use something like that. Star Theater would be kind of cool because it's intimate enough, and you've got to have that it'd be something like that. Renting out a music venue, I think would be cool. Anywho, my whole point. God, we're so distracted on this show.
You are.
He's turning 35. He's not going to play next year as he rehabs from Achilles. So when he comes back, he will be 36 years old, coming off an Achilles tear. And his game, it's not going to age as well as some others because he's an undersized guy that doesn't play a lot of defense anyways. And a lot of it does rely on explosiveness, right? This isn't like with KD. KD's not the same player he was. He's certainly not the slasher and the explosive guy, but he's 7 foot and he can get his shot off against anyone. And he can still rebound and he still has length. Dame at 36, coming off an Achilles tear, is it fair to ask? I mean,
do you want him? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Is that what you're getting at?
Well, I mean, you're a young.
Well, it depends on the price.
Yeah, I don't know. And so here's the other one. Not only for the Blazers, he certainly doesn't fit your timeline, right? do you want him? Is he willing to come back and play a subordinate role to Scoot Henderson, which is weird? And if you're Dame, do you want to take the final? Because if he comes back at 36, we assume he's got 2, maybe 3 years left. You know, we're in this thing now where we assume everyone plays till they're 40. Not everyone is LeBron James, for God's sakes. At 36, 37, 38 years old, you start retiring, especially when you tear your Achilles and you're an undersized guy that doesn't play defense and you kind of rely on being an explosive athlete. And so if you're Dame and you've got maybe 2 years left of, you're not peak Dame, you're not prime Dame, but of like good, solid NBA play, do you want to waste it going to a place that's going to maybe be fighting for the 8th seed in the West? Or do you want to go someplace where you can maybe be a contributor and try to win an NBA championship? So I think it's fair to ask the question on both sides. Does Portland, I think the fans, I would love to have Damian Lillard back. Favorite Blazer of all time. But as an organization, does it make sense? And as a player, does it make sense for Damian Lillard? Because I think both sides could make a case of, not really. It's a weird fit.
Yeah. Well, maybe, I think, this sounds weird, but I think that perhaps Portland is his last stop.
Yeah, the Ken Griffey Jr. tour.
Yeah, I feel like maybe he's Miami bound, because there's gonna be this rehab and like, okay, he's still got a little something left. Let's see what happens, and then it's not gonna take long before he's in like, well, only Portland wants him.
Yeah.
Territory.
Yeah.
And then that's when you bring him back, and you're like, and you pay him. I mean, he wouldn't, it wouldn't require much.
I wouldn't think so.
Cash. By the way, in more important news,
Mhm.
the birthday party for Damian Lillard at the Portland Art Museum was last year.
Oh.
So I don't know if he does this every year.
Oh, maybe that's, yeah.
You said he's about to turn, what, 35?
Turns 35 in July.
Yeah, his 34th birthday bash was there, and I'm looking at it on Instagram here because I'm on Insta. And boy, it looks like a party. There's a bunch of hots dancing.
Of course.
He is rapping, and I don't know what room that is, but that is definitely not where the art is.
Okay.
It's a separate.
Yeah, so they have a separate ballroom sort of thing.
Yeah, that's what I was asking.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'm looking here. I wanted to see when guards retire, like really, really good guards. Because I do think we, with all the training methods we have now and, maybe some LeBron chemicals throwing through his veins, LeBron is a freak. But most guys, like Tom Brady and the LeBrons, those are the exceptions to the rule. But for the most part, when you get to Dame's age, it's kind of,
Well, Chris Paul's still out there, isn't
Chris
he?
Paul's still out there.
He's 40.
And he's a shell of him.
But he's 40.
He's
and
40
playing. Russell Westbrook's 36.
Chris Paul, by the way, averages 8 points a game.
No, I know, but he's 40.
I know. Does Dame
That's 5 years.
Does Dame want to be? I guess that's just my question. Does he want to do that? And at that point, if he's a 10-point guy, do you want him back?
Well, doesn't he want to play with the younger?
I mean, who doesn't want to play with the younger? Doesn't that apply to everybody?
I would love to see Lillard come back to Portland if it makes sense. I didn't want to see him leave in the first place. And he represented this city and this team so well. But what I don't want is kind of the weird, awkward...
Just because?
Just because. And if it is, make it so it's... So, like when Griffey came back to Seattle, he was expecting... he's taking naps. Like, remember that story?
Yeah.
They
Fell asleep in the clubhouse.
Yeah, they tried to go get him to pitch hit, and he was taking a nap. What
a great story.
That's a great story. So if you're going to bring him back to kind of be a ceremonial thing, don't have it right now, because I don't think he's going to be in that mode. This is going to be a grueling rehab and trying to prove something.
He's going to fight for his career here.
Yes. And I would hate to see that go poorly here. If that's going to fail and crash, I think I'd rather see that somewhere else. And I don't want it to be a token thing unless it's really just end of the road. Last year, Chris Paul 8 points and he does a farewell tour.
Well, if it's sad, you don't want it to be like in Miami? Wouldn't it be better if it's sad here?
No, I want it to be in Miami.
Because that's
It
even
makes me
sad.
sad.
Then I don't have to look at it.
Yeah, but you do, though. You'll see it.
Yeah, well.
You can't look away.
I
You'll
just-
see it and you'll be like, oh.
I want to remember him the way he was. I don't want to see the shell because it ended so poorly here, and I just think they screwed him over, and it's going to be weird because the first time he goes out and he can't play defense and he's in a shooting slump, and fans start bagging on him, and it turns into this negative thing.
Yeah,
I don't want to see that.
All he's got to do is hit an 86-foot 3-pointer.
My God, he's back.